From the towering peaks of the San Juans to pastel deserts and mesas, remnants of civilization past left their mark here and make it what it is today. Colorado's Southwest Basin is a region of dynamic ecosystems and communities that make up this interdependent landscape. These tributaries ultimately flow to the Colorado River and the 40 million people who rely on it. The Southwest Basin is home to two indigenous communities, the Southern Ute Indian Tribe and the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe. Neighboring these tribal lands are 9 sub-basins. Each community holds their own social, economic, and environmental values, along with unique challenges and opportunities. Many towns within the area rely heavily on tourism and the recreational industry as a primary economic driver. Agriculture and the open spaces it maintains contribute to the culture, economy, and well-being of people and wildlife alike. Ultimately, we all live in a watershed and depend on clean, reliable supplies for drinking and growing food. Our watersheds provide and store water that is released through base flows or collected in reservoirs. These watersheds undergo constant change as land use and human activities evolve over time. The yearly story of water as it edges towards the Pacific starts here. Water scarcity has always dictated the rhythm of life in the Southwest. Although extreme drought and fire increase unpredictability, our rivers and streams are already feeling its effects. Degraded water quality as a result of legacy hard rock mining and wildfires can limit its safe use. Climate change requires more resilient watersheds, and what better place to start than our forest?
Forest health is critically important to watershed health. So while the forests depend on moisture to thrive and good space, sunlight to grow, our watersheds will be impacted, including downstream, if we don't take care of our forests.
We have insects and disease that influence our forest health, and then fire. And as it turns out, we've done a great job of fire suppression over the past 100 years. When we start thinking about the natural processes and the natural relationship with fire, these were much more open stands historically than what we see now.
So where we're standing right now is on the side of Lemon Reservoir, which in 2001 was part of the Missionary Ridge wildfire. Not only did it burn the forest, but it's what ended up in our reservoir as debris and dirt, sludge, that continues to this day to be a challenge to deal with, both in terms of water quantity and water quality. It's oftentimes, it seems that in the midst of a fire, people go, could we have done something differently? And the answer is yes, but you've got to do it before the fires.
Fighting fires is very expensive, and when we do the simple math on it, for every dollar you put into mitigation work, it costs about $4 for suppression costs. We're never going to remove wildfire completely, but what we can do is if we do the right work in the right places, hopefully we can reduce and minimize the impact of that fire. What's been amazing about Southwest Colorado is that we have a history and a culture of collaboration. And so we have built a process of working together across diverse values and diverse interests. That culture that we've built has helped attract attention. We've gotten recognition from the Rocky Mountain Restoration Initiative, recognition from the U.S. Forest Service for all of that work that we've done. So when we do mitigation work, it's important that we do it on both public and private lands, that we do that work adjacent to one another. Otherwise, we build a bit of a patchwork that's still exposed to wildfire movement.
It's about putting people back into the woods with environmentally sustainable management plans. But we had a timber industry in Southwest Colorado that is much smaller today that we're seeking to rebuild. The goal is thinning the trees, dealing with the brush, the unmerchantable timber. We want to invite industry to be a partner, working closely to make sure that our natural resources are the highest priority in terms of long-term sustainable planning.
Changes in our forest and fire regimes are sparking more concern around river health throughout Southwest Colorado. Invasive plants in riparian areas compete with native vegetation, degrades wildlife habitat and impacts water quality. Decreased river flows threaten fisheries and agriculture alike. We recognize that as the health of rivers improve, so do the lives of people and animals who depend on them.
Some of the lessons learned with the fires and the Gold King mine spill and what can happen when our river health is threatened are really displaying how much we as communities rely on our rivers. Solving an immediate crisis versus the long-term effort to become more resilient, it's sort of hard to do those both at the same time.
There aren't any communities in the San Miguel watershed that are farther than 3 miles as the crow flies from the river. It's really a central part of our daily lives. Throughout the watershed, there's a really strong recreation and tourist-based economy. In the lower watershed, there's a long and proud history of ranching and farming.
Our watershed, so to speak, is our main customer base.
All of our products are sold within a 30-mile radius of the farm.
Water is going to be more and more valuable as we move ahead. And we personally feel that it's going to be very hard to live in this region unless we support farmers and our food. It's imperative that we begin to work with other farmers, with our communities, with all water users so that we can help prioritize what our needs are.
The stream management plan has taken the form of a stakeholder process. It's been a fantastic opportunity to get a lot of different water users together to identify really common and shared watershed health values and to begin the process of figuring out what kinds of projects could support recreational uses and the ecological integrity of the San Miguel River while also maintaining water rights and current water uses.
The Southwest Basin is doing more with less by finding multi-purpose solutions that benefit as many water users as possible. Restoring river corridors and reconnecting floodplains allows them to meander and function as they once did. Flexible water management tools help meet multiple needs by bolstering seasonal flows. Creative solutions are necessary when it comes to tackling our climate challenges.
The farm has adapted to the hotter, drier climate. It's kind of been that way since the beginning when we've been here and get better use of our waters. The technology with that improves, and that's how we've been able to deal with the water situation that we've had. When it came to this farm and the water resources and the tribe looking out to get something what they didn't have, it's a domestic water supply. So the water line, good water that was supplied to Toyac, they don't have to haul it by truck. It makes life a lot more easier. You can turn the faucet on and you have good, a reliable source of running water. The success that we do builds on other things that other tribes or nations want to go ahead and partake in. But the tribes got together with other entities within the state and locally, look what they were able to do by working together.
I'm really proud that we have such an engaged water community and so many people that volunteer their time to serve on the roundtable and on our conservancy and conservation district boards and our soil conservation districts. There's just a lot of people stepping up. I think that's really encouraging. There's a lot of people trying to sort of help with that lift.
When we think about the Southwest rivers and forests, we need to envision what kind of place we want to leave behind. It means bringing everyone along and addressing our societal, economic, and ecological values collectively. Act locally by attending a Basin Roundtable meeting or visiting the Water Information Program website to learn more and share this message.